Hey, Reverend Rob, I got a question for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Have you ever wondered what it feels like to have another unseen presence around you?
Yes, I have. And I think we've experienced it. And I can't wait to hear what you're fixing to tell me. So, everybody, hang tight. I got a feeling this is going to be good. Stay tuned.
Reverend Rob Lee, bold, smart, and straight to the point. This is Tarot with an Attitude.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Tarot with an Attitude. Y'all heard Miss Laura. She's going to start this thing out. So, I'm not going into all of our stuff. Miss Laura, you asked me a question, and I want to hear where we're going with this.
All right, so I've had some kind of crazy paranormal things happen along the way these past
Okay.
lifetime or two or three, I don't know.
You
And
think teacher to exorcist, it wasn't just something at Disney's Haunted Mansion. So, yeah,
no, and nobody grows up to say, "Hey, I want to be an exorcist," honestly.
no,
Right? It's like saying, "Hey, I want to be a drug addict." Not
yeah,
really.
exactly.
I'd be retired with a pension by now. Are you kidding me? So, anyways, so I had this experience a number of years ago when I didn't know what I didn't know. And I am walking down the street, walking the dog, and I see this thing come whooshing past me. I was like, what the heck? The next thing I know, I am feeling like I'm being hurled through something. And all of a sudden, it's like these shards of glass are just like hitting me all over the place. And it was painful.
Wow.
It was so painful. And what ended up happening that I didn't know was a day or so prior, because this isn't my normal neighborhood to go walking, I was actually going on an errand. There was this car accident with this young girl, and she didn't have a seatbelt on. And she went hurling through her car. And she was so surprised, so angry, so scared. She imprinted upon me what she felt.
Okay.
That was insane. And let me tell you what, it hurt.
I'll bet. And, people need to understand I've had the same thing, especially in police work or whatnot. Again, when I kind of knew but didn't know. All right. When
Right.
I'm getting that, we had talked, I think, in the last episode or whatnot about feeling like you walk through spider webs or whatnot, things like that, the little tinglies. Okay. But when I have a presence that waltzes through, and I've had this happen quite a few times, and now I know what it is. In the South, we call it feeling like a duck just walked across my grave. All right. Meaning he knows where you're going to be buried, it knows everything about you. So there was some connection. How that originally originated, I don't know. But it's not just that cobwebby feeling. When a spirit can actually be present, I think, and they are trying to make contact, is exactly what you're talking about. All right. When that thing hits, it is hard to concentrate. It's like taking goosebumps for me to the 30-second power,
Yeah.
you know? And it's like you can keep talking, but I'm not paying attention because I'm literally starting to touch myself and say, what's going on? Something's trying to get my attention.
And
So, yes.
no one else around you knows what's happening at the same time.
Mm-mm. No, they just kind of think you've lost your mind a little bit. Okay,
And
what
we
was
kind
that
of wonder
all
if we've
about?
lost our mind a little bit.
Yeah. So, what happened?
Question that. For
So,
you,
what
not
happened?
me. No, I'm kidding.
So what happened with this little girl in the car wreck? I mean,
So, first of all, it was a resonance issue. I
okay,
had daughters her age at the time. So as a mom, I'm in resonance with this. I think that's part of the key here. The other thing is she was suddenly ejected out of her body.
right,
She is in limbo. She doesn't know what's happening. That trauma, that PTSD stuff actually exists in the afterlife too until it can be remedied. And this
right.
was also a fresh accident. It was a couple days old, maybe a week old. I mean, it was relatively fresh. And it was in a part of the I don't in a part of the city where I don't normally go on top of it.
Gotcha.
And I think she saw me as an opportunity because somehow or another, and I've heard this before, they call me light lady sometimes, or lady of the light, these souls, because they don't know what I am. They see me brighter than the average person. And
Right.
it's not an ego thing, it just is. And so she saw me as an opportunity to show everybody or me what happened to her. And then she proceeds to tell me that she was in the car. She was probably, I think she was 17, by the way. And
Okay.
she went on a date with an older man. And the older man did not have her greater good in mind. She was driving her car.
Okay.
And she ended up flooring the accelerator at an intersection to try to escape him.
So do
That
you
was
think
the,
this was one of those internet connection things?
yes,
And okay,
yes,
gotcha.
yes. And this is when the internet dating kind of first started, like 10, 15 years ago. So it was kind of uncharted territory.
Right.
And, there was a lot of things going on. There's still even more going on now, but it was unheard of back then to have something like that happen. Right now, it's more
Right.
commonplace. And I think now most people also have a little bit more security in mind. You wouldn't go on an internet date and pick somebody up at their house, for example, right?
Right.
And so, anyways, she was showing me what happened because she was terrified. This guy wasn't letting her out of her own car. So she thought if she could get into a car accident, she would be safe. But she ended up killing herself. And she was so angry, so disappointed. She didn't get to live the life she thought she was going to live. She was mourning for her parents. Also, the grief she had for her parents and her family was astounding. So that was just kind of it was a very interesting experience. And it was the first of many experiences where I literally died someone else's death. At the same time, I was able to cross her over to send her home to the heavens, which is the ultimate goal for any soul who is stuck between heaven and earth, limbo.
Gotcha. Now let me ask you this, because when you said resonant, okay, it also brings up something I've dealt with before, and I want to hear your opinion on it, okay? About where a lot of people think they're seeing an actual ghost or a spirit. And what we do have, in my opinion, at times is residual energy. It is not an actual ghost or a spirit. And especially in traumatic events or something, somebody that's lived in a house their whole life and they're 70 years old, they've done the same things over and over. All our walls, everything absorbs. They're all doing that. And I think because we all forget, yes, we're spiritual beings having a human experience, but through that, we're all energy. The energy we put out in certain places is actually like a recording.
Yeah.
It's kind of like every time we play a song, you know, those audio waves go out into space and they never stop. They just
Right.
reach a bandwidth where the human ear can't hear them anymore. Where do you believe that plays a large part or some part with people in their ghost experience that some people
It
are seeing
can.
more? Okay.
It absolutely can. What we're talking about, that energy that embeds within our things, the physical thing.
Yes. Yes.
So this is why when you buy a new home, it may be worth it to have either, if you don't know how, or to have somebody help clear your home of the residual energy. Every nook and cranny of your house, that deep spring cleaning kind of stuff that we do every year.
Right.
Cleanliness is next to godliness, but so is it in this other realm. And we can pick up on their energies. And, I worked on a house actually in Croatia recently.
Okay.
And they're trying to sell the house, and it's a family house, and there was a lot of violence in the house. And actually, it was Serbia. I take that back. A lot of violence in the house, and this house is not selling. The current owner, it's through the family line, broke the family pattern of abuse and trauma. And we're talking hundreds of years. And what we found was a couple of the relatives who lived in this house were still existing in the house, but we crossed them over. And now what was left was the heavy energy left inside the house. That needed to be cleaned up because that becomes animated also. And think about this. There's all these places that will do haunted home tours, right?
Right.
Okay. Chances are they're haunted. But also, that ghost that's living in that haunted house is being tortured in death, and we need to cross him over. So I've been to a few haunted homes where I've been asked to clear the home, and I clear the energy. And yet they still continue to sell tickets to the haunted home. And guess what? Thoughts are things. The people come to expect a haunted house. Their thoughts are creating it. Now you've got this energy conglomeration creating basically a thought form.
Right. Manifesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got to be careful what you wish for. You just might get it. Okay.
Right? And C.W. Bedletter and some other people talk about this. This is a real thing. So it's really important as we're living our daily mortal life that we keep clean and clear as much as we can. Yesterday, I had an issue. We were going to do a show yesterday, but here's my issue. I'm just going to, this is mortal human Laura right here.
Yeah, no, let's talk about it.
I don't normally drink. And I went to a rather high-end fundraising event at a winery. So I had probably the equivalent of 2 glasses of wine. Okay. And people want to say, oh, no big deal, right? That actually put a crack in my foundation yesterday because we were supposed to record yesterday.
We are.
And we talked about not talking about it, but I'm going to talk about it for a moment. Okay.
Go right ahead. Go right ahead. Because I want people to know that we're real and we're not just going to put something up there for the sake of putting it up there.
Yeah, we talked about putting this up there, but it didn't quite translate as well as we had hoped.
Right.
So yesterday, the night before that, I had gone to this winery. I had 2 glasses of wine. It was mixed wine. It was actually quite good wine, but it left a crack in my foundation. And there was an entity next to me in the show we were starting off on yesterday.
It sure felt like it and looked like it. I mean,
right? And yeah. I am feeling like crud. I still have bags under my eyes from yesterday even. I'm like so wiped out from this. But anyways, and there's a lesson in this, okay? Yes, I drank too much. It was two whole glasses of wine. But all of a sudden, this white flash came through and that entity was gone.
Yes.
So what that told me, Reverend Rob, I know I'm protected. Even when I mess up, I know I'm protected. And it was a great reminder of what I do have, right? Because in many cases, I'm limited in what I get to do on this planet. Okay. There's certain things that a lot of people can partake. I can't go to a large concert. I can't do these certain things. Clearly, I can't really drink 2 glasses of wine either. And so, anyways, but my team and I felt this foreboding energy with me also throughout the night and throughout the day. But that little flash.
I'm going to add to that. When you came on, okay, and I told you this, and everybody, I'm not being mean, okay. Because I know Laura, she doesn't drink like that. This wasn't a party, woo-hoo. The ones
I can't do that either.
To. Yeah. But when she came on, her energy was not there. Also, her whole facial expression and everything, I told you.
Yeah.
You look tired. And not just that, you looked like you had been in a fight or arguing with somebody. Yeah. So I saw that. Yes, we've got the video, folks. I saved it. We didn't want to put it up because, again, there's so much a lot of this, what you need to understand, like what we're talking about with residual hauntings and things like that, it's all in perspective. And the irony, which now I'm getting goosebumps, is we were trying to have some of the same conversation about presence and not knowing they were there when all this happened. And what I want people to understand is here's what's really wild. We saw what we saw. Okay.
Yeah.
There's a lot of it that did not come through on the video. And we're like, what I was going to highlight shadows and everything else to show people, look, we got it. But it's weird. The flash is there.
It didn't translate the way we saw it. And this little critter is hanging over right here.
Yes.
You know what? And I know what being it was. And they kind of look like Squidward from SpongeBob SquarePants.
Okay. Because what's funny is you didn't notice it. I noticed it.
Right. And I was so out of it. I mean, I was really out of it. And yes, I was obviously fighting something in the night, right?
Yeah.
And but that was a big deal. So it was so ironic that we're going to do a show about how do you know if something's there that you don't know.
Right.
And it was a big lesson for me, by the way. I'm grateful for the experience.
Because we are in the exact same circumstances. I'm even wearing the same shirt. You're wearing a little bit of a different shirt.
Yeah.
But the lighting hasn't changed. Nothing hasn't changed. And I'm telling you, when I was watching everything on your right side, okay?
Yeah.
Wow. Was swirling. Things were moving. It was like the camera couldn't get you clearly focused or couldn't focus on the left. And as you see right now, it's beautiful. We don't have that issue. And you and I don't have those issues.
No.
We did yesterday.
We did. No more wine. So it was fascinating though. It was a good lesson for me. I'll be honest with you. And we are all here to learn lessons. Nobody lives a perfect life, right?
Absolutely. And I tell you, one of the things I'm very careful of, we know on Monday and Wednesday nights, I do live readings whenever I'm doing a reading or a show. Okay. I drink, but not if I have 2 or 3 a week, it's a lot. Okay. What I'm trying to say is when I know I'm going to be stepping into that realm, either with tarot cards, channeling, divination, whatever, I limit my alcohol content.
Sure.
I don't have, I might have an apple cider thing at lunch, but at 9 o'clock, I've had nothing since. I will take time to try to step out, get everything balanced. Folks, you don't play with a lot of this stuff, okay, without knowledge and without, we talked about discernment at one point. You have to realize and take into what you are playing with, all right, when you step into this realm, and you need to be on top of your game.
You do. Absolutely. You're bringing up a good point. When I work with clients, I set aside a big chunk of time between clients to make sure I'm clean and clear, because these entities, they're just like a virus, right? They're no different than a virus.
Correct.
And I don't want to spread what I have to you, right? And clearly the light side knew what was happening when I didn't, because again, I was off my game, right? And they stepped in.
Yeah. And I saw the light and I asked you, did you see that? And we saw the light on the video on the return, but it was it was weird.
And we talked about it. It's like, I could have had a flashlight below me and go flash on and off. So who knows? It could have been an effect, right? Yeah. But it wasn't. So we decided not to show it.
Right.
But this brings up the question again, when you're talking about spiritual practitioners, healers, etc., you need to ask them these types of questions. If you're going to trust somebody with your precious soul, ask them how they conduct business. Ask them those questions that are important to you. If your healer, spiritual practitioner, whatever, is constantly sick, or if they've got, a chronic health problem or they're poverty struck all the time, there's something going on.
Yeah. If you walk into them and they're going, you're going to have to bear with me today. I'm getting so much spirit. That's negative flow. Time
Yeah.
for you to turn around and walk out.
You can
Okay.
even run. It's okay
Yeah,
to run.
exactly. Now, in doing this, I brought up another question I had written down. I didn't know if we're going to do another show on it, but now we're going to do this. And this might be a way to end this show because I want people to understand. All right. When we do these things, okay, in the show, and like you talk about taking time, even on my live show, you will see me stop and go, you know what? All right, I just did a reading for somebody. Let me grab my coffee. Let me grab something to drink. I will say a prayer because everybody's energy can bleed over. All right.
Yes.
So let me ask you this. Now I'm getting, okay, this is that goosebumpy thing. And I think I feel like either spirits are here or whatnot. And this is very important. And you and I haven't discussed it. So don't let me blindside you. All right. You and I right now are connected through the internet via energy.
Yes.
If something is with you, does that help or aid? Can that something then be transferred to me?
Absolutely. Positive or negative, right?
Exactly.
And
as
that's the
much
big
as
deal.
Skype or I don't hear Skype anymore, but Zoom, Teams, all of these things.
Even movies. You're watching a dark horror flick. The dark energy associated with that movie can come into you. And look at what we have as offerings for television stuff. Everything is dark. Everything is horror driven. Everything is fear based. Those energies go into our home.
Yep. I used to watch, even before my wife and I met, Criminal Minds was my thing. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But, as much death and a lot of that stuff that I have been around, okay, you would think it wouldn't bother me. But at one point, and I forget what season it was, they were thriving on making these pains and all real. That's the big thing now, realism.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It was so real, I had to stop watching it because it came on late at night. And I was literally losing sleep, things like that. And I do want to challenge people. What Laura is telling you, I felt it. It's real. Okay. Because those things, well, Rob, it just played with your head. Yeah, it did. Okay. Because especially if once you've seen it or whatnot, and when it started screwing with kids, I was like, you know what? There's enough of that in my real life. My wife laughs at me because there are certain movies, if I know the end of it, okay, no, that's gonna suck. All right.
Yeah.
I'm not,
Yeah.
we have enough depression and anxiety and stress in our life without me going to pay my good money to walk out feeling like shit.
Yeah.
So
you're reminding
people, think about it.
You're reminding me of the time that I watched the movie Poltergeist.
Okay.
And I was supposed to watch it because I was supposed to learn something from it. And somebody said, you got to, and that night, all of these dead people showed up in my bedroom. Because again, it all happens in the bedroom, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And it's never the Marx Brothers. No. Hi, how you doing?
But what I learned after the fact is the bones in the end of that scene of that movie were actually cadavers. I did not know that. And they came through because and by the way, my computer in a flash, my computer turned on in the middle of the night. The lights in the dining room turned on and my bedroom got filled up full of ghosts. And I'm like, whoa, what? And I had to do a little bit of research on that because I was like, what the heck was that? Because I'm crossing them over.
Right.
They were actually real live dead people in that movie. I don't think they can get away with it anymore.
No.
But it just shows you how the energy can transfer over.
It can. Everything can. And if you think the walls picks up your energy, what do your bones have in them?
Mm-hmm.
So, be careful about, cleansing, doing whatever. There's a lot of things here that if we go on the energy path, we better be aware of, you know? So yeah, I've got, remind me about that, because in our October 30th, everybody, we're going to be live. All right. I know we're going to wind up the one incident we had where we were going to bring on a Native American or whatnot. That's not going to happen. But I know we're going to be crossing somebody over, because it just happens. And some of that, we decided not to do that. Laura talked to me about it and was like, you know what? The whole energy of going into Dia de los Muertos, the Day of the Dead, Halloween, Samhain, all of that stuff, it's not the healthiest time for us, okay, to be diving in. Okay.
Yeah, we're going to there's a lot of energies that get released at that moment in time. And so we're being judicious, we're being cautious, we're being practical with it. So, but we do want to tell real, true ghost stories.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've got some that'll go right along with that. Yeah.
Yes.
And if I get some of the people that were there to experience it to pop online, I'll see what I can do. But yeah, so 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. All right. Right here. We're going to do this. We're also going to try to simulcast on Laura's YouTube channel. We got to get that worked out in the next 6 days too, but that's not that big of a deal. But we are going to simulcast to see what happens. And maybe we can even put it on Facebook at the same time and try to get the audience. So that's coming October 30th. Be there. Again, I have not received any of y'all's ghost stories, and I know people are watching.
Yeah.
And I know you have them. All right. So we would love to read them. And I think some of you have experienced some stuff. You don't know if it's real or not. Let us read it. Just tell us to keep it anonymous. Okay. We'll do that. All right.
Email me, email Reverend Rob, send us a message on Facebook or wherever it is that you can contact us. But we'd love to hear some ghost stories from you guys. Absolutely.
We're going to talk about things. And some of our ghost stories may be about extraterrestrials. They may be about other beings, creatures, or whatnot. We got them, folks. We got them. So you want to be there.
Sasquatch stories, whatever. Yep.
Yeah. And we'll ask if you got a question about it. Ask it.
Ask us.
Because if we don't know, we'll also say, I wish I knew. Here's what I think, but I don't know what I don't know either. Okay. We'll be honest about it and tell you. So, Miss Laura, anything else you want to talk about? I know we got your book. Okay. And I'm just going to remind everybody, the Teacher to Exorcist book, right in the description below, you'll be able to get it if you do the pre-sale. All right. And that time's closing out. It
is one more week.
One more week. Hit that book, because you'll get an autographed copy and Laura will send it to you herself. All right. So, which I admire her for. Okay. Because that would scare the crap out of me. Okay. I got 1,000 books I got to sign and get mailed out.
Yeah. You know what I'm doing soon.
Yeah. It's going to be like, Rob, I've got writer's cramp. We can't do this.
I'm already pre-printing all the postage for it. So
good for you. Good for you.
Got to be organized.
Absolutely. All right, everybody. Again, wow. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. We are already discussing some live events across the country where we can go and different things. So make sure you got it. Anything you want to add on top of that?
No, you did a great job with that, sir. Love it. Looking forward to next week.
Oh yeah, this is gonna be fun. This is gonna be fun. So I am so looking forward to it, and we'll find out what's happening. All right, everybody. So remember, what's the saying here? Take what you want, leave what you don't, but leave having experienced some peace, love, light, and maybe a little pre-Halloween vibe. All right? Bangarang, everybody.